Morning, ladies. How are yous doing? Alright, so it's John here. As you can tell, I'm a little under the weather. Have been for about 2 weeks now. Had some kind of equilibrium issue. So, wasn't even able to go to Christmas Eve service with the family. So, we all stayed home. Didn't want nobody getting whatever it was I had. Because I had major respiratory issues that literally put me on my hands and knees. So, sorry about that. So, the ladies are doing pretty good. There's a couple of videos at the end of the year I wanted to put out that I wasn't able to. So they'll be coming out at the beginning of this year. One is, how much did last year cost us? What did we get accomplished? What did we learn? So, basically the year in review. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about what our plans are for this year. What our larger arc is for the year. So, I'm going to flip the camera around here and show you. What we have here is, you can see that this hill slopes down, and what you can't see that well is it flattens out a little, then a little bit more, and then it goes up to the edge of the creek, and then it drops off. And this corner of our property, right there on the edge of the screen, is about 2 feet low of the level area right in there. So, this year's goal is draw a line from the back of the house, go straight over to here, and I am standing about 15-20 feet from our yard, and we are going to basically draw a line from the back of the house straight over to here. Everything on this side is getting dug out and put in that mosh pit hole. And then we're going to have level ground 1 step, then 2 step, 3 step, and then the top level, which will be the yard. And we're going to put beds in there. The end goal is to put wicking beds in there and have about there on the side of the house, down on this side will be the back side of the greenhouse. This way, about 3 foot, 4 foot wall, 16 feet out. That'll all be one huge greenhouse from here all the way down to there. Gravity fed water system from the gutters. Every time it rains, it will fill one wicking bed, then the next, then the next, then the next, until it comes running out the end. And when it comes running out the end, we will have a area here to drive through. As you can tell, I drove through here with my truck. So we'll have an area to drive through, and the other side of it, where you can see these lines of leaves that are soaked, we're going to have a row here of trees. Now, we will have trioles with perennials under it. And we're going to do the same thing up here. My pears did so good last year. Hopefully it'll do half as good this year. So they're going to be putting a new gas line in by the road. So I'm going to try to get it where they leave a ditch open on top of it, so that we can get some water stopping before it gets to the basement, because our basement floods all the time. We're at the bottom of a long hill and everything floods downhill. That's the creek. So our property is inundated with water. Yes, you can have too much water. So you'll have trioles here, and then a flat spot, and then the greenhouse here. And I'm going to have it so there's a slight swell, ever so slight, so when the water comes out the end, it'll flow into that one and feed all those trees. However, over here, where I now notice the gutter came off, that I will have to put back on. Should be right now. This swell, the water's been hitting it so hard it's literally jumping the swell. So I know it's not a big swell, but there's a swell nonetheless, but the water's been jumping it. I wanted it so it could disappear in the grass. So if I can get the gas company to leave a ditch, that'll be nice. So with the greenhouse being in here, I'm gonna use my trencher and get all these, I think they're Rosa Sharon, I think somebody told me. And I now see that my ladders were not hung back up. Okay, so we will go ahead and take care of getting all this stuff out of here, clean this all up. We'll have a 16-foot wide by, figured it to be about 60 to 80 foot long greenhouse. Now, right inside here, that's close, so we don't have to worry about the cat getting out. The greenhouse is going to come to that side of the door. And we'll have a door that opens up into there, so that you can come out of the basement directly into the greenhouse. And we will put the dryer vent there. I'll take a 5-gallon bucket, with a tank hose over it, and put a 3-gallon bucket with a tank hose over it inside that. And basically have double vent, catch all the wick. In the dryer, every time we run the dryer, we'll heat the greenhouse. And then we will most likely paint this wall black and allow the sun to heat that. Line up some barrels here so that the excess water, once that starts flowing, I just flip it and it'll then fill up the barrels with rainwater. And this will not all be done. This will not all be done this year. However, we'll be able to get a decent amount of it done. At least get that hill dug out and get some garden beds along there where the tiers will be. And then we'll work on getting some wicking beds started. And, you know, little bit by little bit. As far as livestock this year, I told my wife I had one of two ideas. We could either A, get a Joel Salatin style chicken pen and have, so on this side and on that side, right there, along the edge of the bank, chickens go down, they come up, they return. And in the middle, right here, is where we're going to put our chicken coop for the year. Because where it's contemplated to be finished is where I had already had a bed in, and I'm taking advantage of the bed. So we are putting the gardens up there for now. So can't be out here much longer. The other alternative was to get a couple geese so that for Thanksgiving and Christmas we can have a goose. I always wanted that ever since I was a little boy and saw I think it's Christmas Story with Scrooge. I watched the one with Scrooge McDuck for so many times with my kids. That is all I can think of is to call it Scrooge McDuck. So, excuse me. So, I don't want to do them both because I am trying to do the majority of this myself, and I have my children and my wife to help me. However, it's do what you can do. And I'm stepping up in little amounts until I reach the threshold of what I can do. So, then there are certain things that we're going to do that will surpass what I can do, but myself. But that'll be things that the children want to partake in. Because if I'm just giving them chores, then they're not going to like it. So give them something they may not like as much, as far as, you have to clean up after the goats, but they love the goats. And my daughter really would love to have a goat. She has a name picked out already. I don't think it's getting called that. We're gonna have a girl. She wants to be called Billy Goat. I told her when we get a boy, we'll name it Billy. Or William Bonnie. William Bonnie. For Billy the Kid. So, we will most likely, I initially factored in 4 geese this year for dinner this year and next year, and the feeder chickens next year, or vice versa. So we're probably going to go with 2 geese this year, and go with 2 geese this year, and go ahead and I can't breathe. That way, hopefully by Thanksgiving and Christmas, we'll have some geese, some goose for dinner, which we've not had before. So, and somebody suggested maybe we should just get a goose and try it. I said, well, I can get eggs from the store, and because that's what we're doing right now, because those nice, lovely ladies went ahead and stopped laying because the outlet that the light was in went bad. And my daughter had just taken on the responsibility of collecting the eggs because, hold on, let me see if I can get her. Betsy. Hey, Betsy. Hey, Betsy. Hey, Betsy. Yeah, Betsy. So, that little one right there is Betsy. She's going to be our mascot because she loves us so much. My daughter kept getting attacked by the same chicken. She didn't want to collect the eggs. Well, the bird attacked me too, and she's like, that's the bird that attacked me, it's the bird that attacked me. As soon as I turned and looked at who we now call Betsy, she squatted down for me to pet her. Because every time she comes up to me and squats down, which I'm guessing has something to do with the whole breeding thing. But anyway, I would pet her, and she would sometimes rub her head on the side of my leg. But she'd come up and peck me in the leg to get my attention, which the others peck at you occasionally, so I wasn't paying attention, so she'd get more determined. So she was doing the same thing to my daughter. Once we figured that out, I loved her up. So now when my daughter comes out and she gets attacked by the bird, she just makes a fist because she's afraid of getting pecked, or afraid of losing a finger, I think. And she puts her hand down towards the bird. It squats down, and then she hurries up and does what she needs to do, which I don't think Betsy likes that. But one of those things, my daughter has not been around chickens. I've not been around chickens. So, and I mistakenly forgot to mention to her that the chickens see red, they hit it every time. And she had a sore on her leg, and she went in the pen and they attacked her until it bled. So I explained it to her, so now she's not so fearful of them. At first she thought they were trying to eat her. I may live in the country, I grew up in the city. My kids are very privileged to be in the country. Not everybody sees it that way, I get it. I grew up in the city. I see it that way. I am glad to be able to give them that privilege. To be able to get them to understand where their food comes from. I've already had a couple of members of my family say, well, if I have to see it alive, then I'm not going to eat it when it's not. I said, well, then you're going to starve, because that's what we're doing. I would not let my children starve. But they got the point. So they were willing to try it, and they saw that there is no difference, and that it actually tastes better. So, little steps. I'm trying to culture myself and my children at the same time. Not easy. So, but for the update for the year, for this coming year, we will be taking the Wayfair, that thing, greenhouse. We will be taking the 3 remaining Wayfair greenhouses, that one that's half collapsed, and the 2 that have not even been opened yet. That one, the plastic's already failed through, and I lost my aloes. Hopefully they'll come back in the summer. Hopefully. I'm going to put a piece of plastic over them to prevent water from inundating them and allowing them to dry up, and then see if they recover at all. So if anybody wants to leave a comment on what they think would be best for an aloe plant after getting frozen in the winter. I know they survive in the desert, so I'm thinking dry them out. But we're going to take those greenhouses and line them up right here. And then I'm going to take the Home Depot plastic, or Lowe's plastic, or Rural King. I don't even know where I got it from. I got the receipt. But anyways, we're going to put its plastic on it. So the string that's in it will act as somewhat of a support. And then we're going to put the plastic, big sheet of plastic over it to keep the heat in. And that's what we're going to have for a greenhouse for next winter. And then hopefully put some hoops in. But first, hopefully, we can manage to get some compost down. So we use mushroom compost with all the problems with, oh, was it treated right? Was it not treated right? There's a place close by. They have good mushroom-based compost. And there's no manures in it. So I don't have to worry about the person I'm getting it from knows how to properly manure or not. Or compost the manure. So that way we don't have to worry about that. Because the last thing I want to do is poison my family. So this is what we're going to do for the year. That's our big arc. Is 2 geese. Continue with the birds, with the chickens, and get that hill dug out. It'll be a while, so you'll catch a video here or there. That's a lot for that little digger, and frankly, that's a lot for me. So, but I can say that one of the things I learned the hard way is chickens will destroy grass. But that's okay. Eventually this is going to be a garden beds. So I'm not worried about the grass. So watch for the next video. I'm going to try and continue with the schedule of every Monday. And I try to put them out early. Basically, get up, get the kids to school, off to school, feed the chickens, and then post the video. Or eat breakfast, take care of a couple things, and post the video. Sometimes I get sidetracked. In case you couldn't tell. So, hopefully 2019 will be a better year for me for health. Better year for my family. And a healthier year. Because we're going to have some greens this year. So, I wish everybody a very healthy and safe year. And I hope you enjoy coming with us on the trip. Till next time. Bye.